Amusement parks are known for having roller coasters that can usually draw in enthusiasts like us and the general public to test their breaking point on bravery every time they step foot on the coaster. However, roller coasters are not made for everyone. Theme park enthusiasts like myself enjoy riding coasters, but there's something else in most parks that draws us to them even more, and that is a dark ride. Nearly everyone has ridden at least one dark ride, whether it's the smaller attractions like Boo Blasters or a multi-million-dollar experience like Flight of Passage. Most of these rides either give a thrilling experience that you can't find on a coaster, or a relaxing experience with immersive theming at every turn. So since this channel is known as theme park hunting and not coaster hunting, I'm going to be counting down my top 25 personal favorite dark rides. If you have never been theme park hunting before, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below for new content just like this every week. Also, we are officially selling theme park hunting merchandise. Make sure to click the link in the description down below to buy your very own TPH merch. Before we get to this video, a quick disclaimer is that most of these rides are either at one of the Universal parks or one of the Disney parks. And since I live in Florida, I have ridden all of these dark rides multiple times. So expect some strange opinions. Also, I will be including simulators and standard boat rides. I will be saving water rides and flat rides for a whole separate list. So let's get to the video. In true theme park hunting fashion, I like to start every countdown video with an honorable mention. So for this list, I want to give a quick honorable mention to Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run at Disney's Hollywood Studios. After my ride on this, I was extremely underwhelmed by this dark ride. And I know that Disney could have done a little more with it, but I feel that they almost made this a filler attraction for Hollywood Studios, which right now is the last thing they need. Now don't get me wrong, this has one of the best queue lines and best pre-shows and one of the best facades in the entire park. However, the ride in the end is just a big video game that didn't live up to the hype. So kicking off the list at number 25, we have Under the Sea, The Journey of the Little Mermaid at Disney's Magic Kingdom. This is one of the newer dark rides at Disney, and I feel this attraction gets too much hate. There's a ton of effects on this ride that still stun me to this day, and the ride has some of the greatest animatronics in the whole park. And since this ride uses an Omni-Mover system, you never have to wait for it. I love this ride, and I'm so glad that it never has to wait so I can keep on riding it every time I visit the Magic Kingdom. Number 24, Living with the Land, EPCOT. Another ride that I feel is underappreciated is Living with the Land. This boat ride offers a fun and themed experience, and right when you think it's over, it sends you into the Land Pavilion's greenhouse, which offers you a look through the nature and plants of Disney World. I feel like this ride is always a nice break from constantly walking around the park. Plus, when you get that perfect mix of theming and interactions in one ride, it's amazing, and it's a great break from the park. Number 23, Mission Space, EPCOT. While I enjoy the two different missions on this ride, the main reason this simulator makes this list is because of its Orange Team More Intense Training mission. While Mission Space may seem like a cheap mission to Mars, this ride is intense. Every time the G's kick in, I'm always amazed that Disney would build this kind of attraction. The fact that this ride can pull 2.5 G's for long periods of time is insane. Plus, the interactions with the simulator itself always adds to the experience. While the Green Team is fun and I do enjoy the Earth mission more than the Mars mission, there's just something about 2.5 G's that really makes me feel like I am in space. Number 22, Cat in the Hat, Universal's Islands of Adventure. This ride is such a classic. I've been riding this ride since I was 2 years old. You could even say that this was the ride that created theme park hunting. While they have toned down the ride movement over the years as it used to spin much more than it does now, it still holds its charm as it whizzes through the wonderful world of Dr. Seuss. And there's nothing that can get better than a nostalgic dark ride that every time I go to the park, I must ride this. Number 21, Monster Mansion, Six Flags Over Georgia. This is the only attraction on this list that isn't at a Disney or Universal park. And I know that this ride may have come out of nowhere for this list, but it's on here for a reason. This is the strangest ride I have ever done. Not because of its layout, but just because of its theme. The animatronics are mediocre at best, but for some reason, Over Georgia actually went all out on this ride. There's one section that actually scared the living crap out of me. It's a pitch black section with horrifying animatronics so close that it looks like they could touch you. But I love horror, so this ride definitely deserves a spot in my top 25. Number 20. Test Track, EPCOT. I know this ride may seem low, but I have my reasons. One of them is because I loved the original version of this attraction, and I just don't completely enjoy the futuristic theme, as going through an actual testing site was much better. But this ride does offer a thrilling experience, which I do love. Plus, who doesn't bop to the soundtrack in the queue line? I just love the thrill factor that this ride gives, and that is what lands it a spot on this list. Number 19. Toy Story Mania, Disney's Hollywood Studios. Who doesn't love a classic shooting dark ride? Everyone has ridden at least one. However, Toy Story Mania takes this classic design and turns it up to 50. The technology behind this ride is a blast, and once you learn all the secrets to it, you can become undefeated. I just love this shooting attraction, as it always is a must ride when I visit the park. Plus, when you add on 3D effects and even 4D effects to this ride, it just makes it so fun, and it's always a great thing to do when you visit the park. Number 18. Journey into Imagination, EPCOT. While I used to hate this ride with all my heart because of how much they ruined the old version, I have grown to enjoy it. The song One Little Spark is what makes the whole ride. While I agree that this ride is in need of an update, the effects that are used are pretty good, and I feel you have to grow to appreciate this ride. While it may have taken nearly 50 rides to learn that, I enjoy this ride now because I understand what it has to offer. And once you realize that, it's just a fun, relaxing ride to do when you go to Epcot. Number 17. Skull Island Reign of Kong, Universal's Islands of Adventure. Another ride that I feel is underappreciated is Skull Island Reign of Kong. Besides this easily having the best facade in the history of facades, the ride is beautifully themed with amazing effects and animatronics. While the screens may not be the best, the animatronic at the end makes up for it. I mean, just staring at that thing is what makes the whole ride. This is easily one of the most stunning and astonishing animatronics, not just in the history of Universal, but in the history of parks. While the ride may not be the best, it's the theming that surrounds it that makes it what it is. Number 16. E.T. Adventure, Universal Studios Orlando. Another classic dark ride. I still think that the technology used for the ride system is still revolutionary to this day. While the animatronics need some updates, the theming surrounding the ride is what makes it awesome. The forest queue line is one of my favorites, and every time I fly over the city, I'm always in awe on how beautiful this attraction really is. While E.T.'s Planet may not be the best, the main reason why I keep going back is just going through the forest and flying over the city, which is all I need for it to be on this list. Number 15. Pirates of the Caribbean, Disney's Magic Kingdom. If you guys haven't noticed yet, I love myself a good classic dark ride, and I would take them over the thrilling and more modern dark rides. And Pirates of the Caribbean is the definition of a classic dark ride. While I haven't done the other versions of this ride, which I hear are much better than the one at the Magic Kingdom, I feel that Pirates just contains the charm that makes me never want to get off. I love that Disney is always updating either the animatronics, the scenery, or the effects. And who doesn't love the iconic Pirates of the Caribbean smell? Number 14. The Tomorrowland Transit Authority, aka People Mover, Disney's Magic Kingdom. This ride is a blast. Whether it's the iconic narration, iconic show scenes, iconic soundtrack, iconic puns, this ride is amazing. I can't think of a time when I go to the Magic Kingdom and I don't get a ride on the legendary People Mover. Night or day, rain or shine, this ride is always so much fun, and you always have to do it when you visit the park. Number 13. Men in Black Alien Attack, Universal Studios Orlando. This is my all-time favorite shooting dark ride. If you're a fan of the movies, just the start of the ride is iconic enough as you go through the Men in Black training room. And between all the real sets, the detailed animatronics, and the spinning aspect, it's just something so nice to see at Universal. I feel that this ride has so many Easter eggs hidden inside that every time I ride it, there's always something else I notice. Plus, the spinning aspect of it makes it even better, and that's why this is my favorite shooting attraction. Number 12. The Amazing Adventures of Spider-Man, Universal's Islands of Adventure. Who doesn't enjoy Spider-Man? Between the thrilling movement, the special effects, and the amazing 3D screens, this ride is nearly perfect. To soar through New York City with Spider-Man, seeing the Stanley Easter eggs throughout the ride, all the fire effects, the water effects, all the effects, is what makes this ride awesome. Spider-Man is truly one of the best rides at Universal. Number 11. The Studio Tram Tour, Universal Studios Hollywood. I know what you guys are thinking right now. When did you go to Universal Hollywood? Well, I visited this park right before I started this channel, and when I went, there was only one ride that I wanted to do, and that was the Studio Tram Tour. And let me just say, it blew my expectations out of the water. Even without the show scenes like Jaws, Kong, Fast and Furious, and Earthquake, the tour around the studios is amazing, and I love it when they do the small acting scenes throughout the tour. Between all the interactions, all the show scenes, and its long duration, I absolutely love this ride, and you gotta make sure to do it when you visit Hollywood. Number 10. The Haunted Mansion, Disney's Magic Kingdom. Who doesn't love this ride? Whether it's the grimming ghosts who come out to socialize, the amazing projection effects, the dark haunted vibe, the ride has it all. The second you step foot on the attraction, you're already suspicious because your ghost host is what makes the whole ride. Every time you step foot in the Haunted Mansion, you always get that eerie feeling. Even though you know it's a fake haunted ride, Disney does such a good job at making you believe you're in an actual haunted mansion. I love this ride and I can never get enough of it. Number 9. Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, Disney's Hollywood Studios. This ride really surprised me. While it is the newest dark ride to open at the park, and it was actually only open for approximately 10 days before the park closed for good throughout the COVID-19 pandemic, I was able to get 5 rides on this new attraction. And all I can say is, wow. The projection mapping on this trackless dark ride was incredible, as it made me forget that the Great Movie Ride once stood here. Plus, who doesn't love the joyful soundtrack on this ride? This attraction also has one of the greatest pre-shows I've ever seen in my life, as the effect they use already makes this a top 10 worthy dark ride. When you put all this together, it's easily one of the greatest dark rides ever. Number 8. Dinosaur, Disney's Animal Kingdom. This is easily one of Disney's hidden gem attractions. Dinosaur is a ride for Disney enthusiasts that they rode when they were little, cried when they came off, rode it again 4 to 6 years later, and now it's one of their favorite rides of all time. And it sure is mine, just because of how unique it is. This ride is constantly tilting you around because it makes you feel like you're going through the Cretaceous period of the dinosaurs. Because this ride is so jarring, it makes it such a thrilling experience. And when you combine this with all the show scenes and the dinosaur animatronics, it just makes this ride feel like it's never going to end. Number 7. SOARIN Around the World, EPCOT. Flying theaters have always been one of my favorite kinds of simulators, and SOARIN Around the World is no exception. Unlike others, I personally enjoy the Around the World version more than the California version. The smells just make this attraction even better, and the views that this ride showcases is what makes it come to life. Every time the chairs float back down, I'm either in tears because the ride was so beautiful, or I'm just sad because it's over. Either way, I absolutely love SOARIN Around the World, and I make sure to get on it every single time I go to Epcot. Number 6. Transformers, Universal Studios Orlando. This dark ride is one of the most underrated dark rides in the history of dark rides. While the movement and 3D aspects are nearly exact to Spider-Man, the effects on this ride always stun me, as the screen effects match the ride system perfectly. Plus, I feel the movement on this ride is much more intense than Spider-Man, and everything that Universal might have done wrong with Spider-Man, they did right on Transformers. So when you put all this together, Transformers is easily one of my all-time favorite dark rides. Number 5. Harry Potter and the Forbidden Journey, Universal Islands of Adventure. This ride is nearly perfect. Between the theming, the animatronics, the soundtrack, the interaction, the movement, it's insane on how technologically advanced this dark ride is. The second you walk in the queue line, you are already immersed in the Harry Potter theme as you trek through the Hogwarts hallways. Plus, this ride is absolutely messed up, Every time I ride it, I'm always shocked to discover how intense it actually is, as the movement is just so shocking. Universal really went all out on this ride, and that's what makes it so good. Number 4. The Twilight Zone Tower of Terror, Disney's Hollywood Studios. While many may consider this ride a drop tower, I personally consider this a dark ride. And all I can say is, holy crap, this ride is the strongest airtime you can ever find on a drop tower. Anytime I ride the Tower of Terror, I'm always laughing throughout the whole ride, just because of how screwed up the airtime really is. It's always such a blast, and I never get enough on this ride. There's just nothing better like the feeling of being weightless, and Tower of Terror is right now the only ride that truly makes me feel like that. Number 3. Avatar Flight of Passage, Disney's Animal Kingdom. While I used to not be a big fan of the simulator, after my last ride on it back in March, I finally understood the hype. The screen effects with the simulation match perfectly. Plus, the simulation in some sections can be intense. There's not one of these simulators besides Flight of Passage that made me believe I went upside down. Somehow this one did. There's nothing else like Flight of Passage. But there is 2 rides I feel that are just so perfect that they can't be lower than where they are. Number 2. Spaceship Earth, EPCOT. I am in love with this ride. I'm so sad that it has to be renovated soon, but I just love this ride with all my heart. Whether it's the soundtrack that plays throughout the whole ride, the smells that immerse you through time, and of course creating your own future. When you put all that together, it just makes such a perfect dark ride. All the effects on it are visually stunning, plus this ride is loaded with animatronics from left to right that it just makes you feel like you're actually going through time. Its duration is perfect, everything about it is perfect. And I say all this and I really want to put it in the number 1 spot, but there is one ride that is just too visually perfect to be put under Spaceship Earth. Number 1. Star Wars Rise of the Resistance, Disney's Hollywood Studios. Where do I even begin? Do I even need to tell you guys why this is the best dark ride? I can't think of one other ride that has made me wake up at 4:30 in the morning, drive 1 hour to Walt Disney World, wait an hour before the park opens, just to get a virtual queue spot for the ride, not even knowing what time it's going to be, wait to get on it, get in the queue line, wait another 30 minutes in the queue line, and experience the one and only Star Wars Rise of the Resistance. The 17-minute attraction that I can never get enough of. From the first pre-show all the way to walking off your escape pod, this ride immerses you with top-of-the-line animatronics, effects, and thrill. I mean, what other trackless dark ride has a drop track into a simulator section? That's an enthusiast's dream. Nothing can be better than this one astonishing dark ride. So there we have it. Let me know what you guys think of my list in the comment section down below, and make sure to subscribe for new content just like this. Also, make sure to go check out my merch shop with the link in the description below. The merch will really help me build up this channel, and I would really appreciate if you guys take the time to buy some merch. This is Hunter from Theme Park Hunting. I'll see you guys later, and follow the thrill.